Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech. We're going to talk about iPhone 5 tips and some battery saving secrets that you can use to try and prolong battery life on your iPhone 5. This is the first in a series of videos on the iPhone 5 and some tips that can help you get the most out of your iPhone 5. The first thing we want to talk about in saving some battery is location services. Those can be accessed under Settings, so locate your Settings icon, tap on it, and then we want to go down to Privacy. Now, in different versions of iOS, this may not be under Privacy. It could be under Location Services or General. So go to Privacy and then go to Location Services. And you'll see we have all of these different apps listed and Location Services is on. The first thing you can do, just to make this really simple, is turn it off. That will disallow your phone from using the GPS. GPS takes a lot of battery, so if you shut that off, you'll save some battery. Now, it's not necessarily a good idea to shut off because you won't be able to use things like Maps or Google Maps or whatever you're using to navigate if you're using your phone for navigation or something that requires your location. But you can manage those individually this way or one by one or shut everything off. Or if you go all the way down, you can manage even more things in the system settings. So you can shut off cell network search and compass calibration and anything else you may want to look at. The next thing we want to talk about is push notifications. Push notifications, there's two different types of push things on your iPhone. There's push notifications and there's push email. The push notifications can be found under Settings and then Notifications. And you can see we have Do Not Disturb. Those go together. We can turn that on really easily. Under Push Notifications, you have Do Not Disturb, and those are some settings. And this allows you to schedule times where you don't want anything to disturb you. So say you were sleeping and you don't want your phone to ring, but if it's important and someone calls you within a certain amount of time, you do want it to ring. It'll allow things like that. But the notifications we're talking about are more related to the applications, such as the ones you see here. Google Maps can send you notifications when maybe there's traffic or something like that in the area. You can turn that off, and that will save a little bit of battery. But the major thing that will save you battery is actually your mail and push email. Now, this is according to Apple on their website, under some hidden support docs, that it tells you turn off push if you're really trying to get the most out of your battery, or maybe you're running low. So what we want to do is go to our Settings button again, and then we want to go all the way down to Mail, Contacts, and Calendars. Under here, you'll see your different email accounts. I have quite a few. You may only have one or whatever, but this applies to the majority of them. And you can see where it says Fetch New Data and Push. Push email actually works in the sense that if I send you an email, Gmail or to Hotmail or whatever you're using, I send you an email, Gmail says, oh, I've got an email, and pushes it to your phone. That takes some more battery life because it has to sort of maintain a live connection to your phone, so you're going to use a little bit more battery. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's kind of the basics of it. If we go under Push, you can see we can just shut it off, and then we have different options down here below. We can have our email check every 15 minutes, 30, hourly, or manually. So if email's checking manually, it won't check until you open your email app. But I have it set to 15 minutes. Now you can manage this individually under the main area here, go under your different push emails rather, and then down to Advanced. And under Advanced, you'll have all of your individual email accounts. If I go to Hotmail, you can see I can switch it from push to fetch to manual, and you can do that for the majority of them. Not everything accepts push or uses push, but you can see that I have push, fetch, manual, fetch, fetch. So depending on which ones I have it set to, that's how it's going to operate. So shutting off push will save you the most battery life, and then switching to manual will save you a lot of battery life as well. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and your cellular antennas probably take up the majority of your battery. And again, we access some of those settings under Settings, and then you can see we have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Wi-Fi will take up battery when you're around a Wi-Fi hotspot but not connecting to it. So it's trying to connect or find all of these hotspots, and it's not going to connect. But if you're at home or at work, it's better to be connected. You'll actually use less battery life on Wi-Fi. But if you're not using it, shut it off, and that should save you some battery life. You can just simply shut it off. Same goes for Bluetooth. Again, found under settings. Bluetooth, you can shut it off if you're not using a wireless headset or connecting it to your car as I am. That will save you some battery life as well. Finally, we can go to General, and then we can go to Cellular. And under Cellular, we have a couple different options. We can shut off cellular data altogether. That will save us from using data and just use the phone portion, which will save a lot of battery. And then LTE. LTE is 4G or fourth generation wireless technology that allows for really fast connectivity speeds for data, things like that, when you're surfing the web. However, not every area has LTE. And it's probably a good idea to shut it off if you don't, or you have a really weak signal, because that will use the most amount of battery. Fortunately, near myself, I have a pretty good LTE coverage, so I can keep that on. But it won't use a lot of battery because it's good coverage. If you don't have good coverage, it will use a lot more battery. So you can simply shut that off. You can also shut off some cellular data for these different things, iCloud, iTunes, etc., and that may help you as well. But ultimately, you can customize this to what your needs are. And then finally, for cellular data, you could put it in airport mode if you have no signal, and that will save you a lot of battery because you're not using any of those antennas. There's a few more things we can do to save us some battery life. Under settings again, we can go to brightness and wallpaper, and brightness will use a lot of battery life. I'm under bright lights, so the screen is pretty bright, but I can dim that by sliding this slider, and I have it on auto brightness, so it turned it up now. But I can turn that down or shut auto brightness right off, and that will save us some battery. If you can dim it, if you're not in bright sunlight or in an area where it's pretty dark, that will save you some pretty good battery life. One of the things that will save you battery life, but not really a ton unless you're using navigation or things like that, is actually shutting off background apps. You can access those by double tapping the home button, and you'll see all the apps that you have running. Now, not all of these are going to use background data or battery life, and so this is going to be more selective. If you have maps open and you're trying to locate something and you're done using navigation, it's probably not a bad idea to shut it off. If you still have some of that active, it should save you some battery life. So you can tap and hold, they'll jiggle, and then you can just close whatever you need to. Finally, the last thing that you can do that a lot of people don't realize will save you battery life has to do with your music. What we want to do is go to settings. We'll go back here. Go to settings, scroll down to music, and EQ. Now, I don't use the equalizer for different settings, but if you have the EQ on, it actually uses more battery than if it's off, according to Apple. So you can go into here, you can adjust for acoustic, bass booster, you can see all these different options. If you shut it off when you're low on battery, you'll save a little extra battery life. So hopefully that's a pretty good overview of things you can do to save battery life on your iPhone 5. If you have any suggestions for any other viewers, please place those in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.